Hi. So it's Sunday. Here I am. I'm back. Just checking in and trying to hit a goal of doing I don't know, a little bit of video every day, to make myself more comfortable with this whole interactive media thing. And so I've been thinking about what it is that I want to talk about today, and the thing that is most on my mind today is the concept of visibility in the context of self-promotion. And it's such a complicated thing to think about, to talk about, to feel about, and to be doing. Visibility is so strange, and I have so many mixed feelings about it, and so I'm just gonna talk for a moment about, encountering my edge with self-promotion and promotion of my materials. So as a teacher and an author and a priest, member of the clergy, and as an activist, it's essential that I put myself out there ongoingly, and so many of you know exactly what I'm talking about. I have so many people in my life who do work that needs visibility in order to thrive, and there are many people who don't have that. So for those of you who don't have a requirement of visibility as part of your job description, some of this may or may not be interesting, but may or may not have relevancy to your personal life. One of the things that I want to address is the concept of being an anarchist community member and seeking visibility in the ways that one must in order to be a successful writer or teacher, or whatever the categories of influence that one is trying to boost. So as an anarchist and a witch, and as so many things, as a person who is neurodivergent, as a person who experiences chronic pain, as a person who is a mom, as a person who is interested in collaboration and community building, it can be very complicated to be constantly promoting myself and putting my own message on boost. And I try to balance that out by creating collaborative opportunities for community members and other teachers, and finding people whose message I feel that I want to boost, and that I also want to participate in, which is the best for me. I love it when there are participatory situations where we can all boost each other's message and create collaborative media, create collaborative outcomes. And so, in case you're wondering, I'm always looking for opportunities to collaborate and to cross-pollinate in that way. That's one of my favorite ways to kind of wrangle the complexity of attempting to maintain visibility while also being an anarchist and wanting to be in collaborative, experiential, communitarian creation, rather than just having, rather than being, it can feel really awkward to be doing self-promotion so much of the time. And there are so many areas that it rubs up against that I think bear some amount of examination. So yes, Celia says cross-pollination. Absolutely. So one of the things that I want to also talk about in this context is the idea that women are not encouraged to speak boldly about ourselves. It's not a thing that we're supposed to do culturally. Men are encouraged, and talking about the binary, because a lot of our experience of reality and conditioning occurs within the binary. I'm on the non-binary gender spectrum myself, and I don't believe in the gender binary, and at the same time there is a lot that does occur within the construct of the binary. And so within that construct of binary gender, men are encouraged to promote themselves. They're encouraged to come across strongly. They're encouraged to ask for what they want and to even demand what they think they deserve. Women, we are not taught that, and we're not encouraged to that set of behaviors either. So, for example, if a woman straight out asks for a raise, the response of her superiors is going to be different than a man asking for a raise. We all know that most of us agree that there is a gender-based wage gap. Most of us agree that there are a lot of elements where women are not rewarded in the same ways that men are rewarded for being good self-advocates. So sometimes when I'm working on promoting myself, I run a pretty heavy head game on myself. I get pretty strung out about it, and that's happening a bit today, which is why I'm talking about it with you right now. And so one of the things that I try to do when I start getting into one of those kind of intense whirlpool experiences inside my own head is I try to remind myself of the sociological elements of it. I try to remind myself of the cultural elements of the conflict that I'm having internally. Because I truly do believe that the personal is political, and that when we come up against our own sense of limitation, that it's worth examining. And for me, when I can put my own struggle into the context of the greater struggle for liberation, into the context of the greater desire for breaking these cultural norms that keep us all kind of in our boxes, I can actually find ways to break through. Because when I realize that the setup is cultural and that my reaction to it is the solution, right? The potential solution is my reaction to it. So my experience of feeling boxed in by these cultural elements that tell women not to promote themselves, it's very like in the immediate sense, real life stuff for me that I need to work on deprogramming myself from these elements of cultural conditioning that say that women are not supposed to present themselves as authorities, that women are not supposed to present themselves as strong, as competent, as commanding or even demanding. And so I guess this has been a really good experience for me. My outcome of this little following this train of thought tonight is that my willingness to make myself visible, one, is essential because it's how my work will get into the world. And two, is revolutionary because I'm willing to confront the elements of cultural conditioning that are trying to, that are exerting themselves through my own conditioning, in my own head, in my own thought process, the elements of conditioning that are allowing me to feel confined to staying, to acting within the expectations of the binary construct. So I guess if I really can get myself into this headset, the reality of it is that through confronting our own limitations, through confronting our own conditioning as women especially, and as leaders in our communities, that as we will ourselves to become more visible and to stand up and be seen and be counted and be, really in our authenticity and integrity, that we are actually creating the change that is essential for feminism and ultimately just in general liberation from this whole setup that keeps us confined and keeps us from achieving what we're here to achieve. So I I hope that this was helpful for some of you. It was helpful for me, so I'm glad that I had this little chat with myself and all of you. And cross-pollination was one of the starting themes, and so I want to say right now that I am looking for people who want to collaborate on my launch process with Jailbreaking the Goddess, which is my launch date is coming up very soon. If you are interested in collaborating with me on that launch, being a sponsor or being a venture partner, please get in touch with me and let's talk it out right now. I'll be available tonight and, you know, through the next few days working on exactly this thing. So if you want to collaborate with me, if you want to cross-pollinate, if you want to access my social media platform and in return expose your social media platform to my materials, let's do it. All right, power to the people. Stay strong and stay centered, and we'll all get there. All right, love y'all.